think that should work. So what are we doing here? Open up C line. Let's grab the latest version of my app here. Actually, I don't think that's how that works. Oh no, okay, they did add a thing for it. Okay, cool. Julio. Okay, so what did I want to do here? So first off, let's run this and make sure this is the current version. So that's what this looks like on Linux. See, that's why I wanted to do this. I'm gonna do this part on Linux, and then that's fine. Unless I change these, I might want to change those. You change them to Control D and F. But okay, so let's take a look real quick. We've got this. What did I want to do here? Stop. Okay. Oh, because that's in debug mode. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Um. Hmm. But wait, is this the updated version? I should also add Control Q to quit. Well, let's start with that. Because I have no way to quit right now. So we're also gonna do here. We're going to build it so that we can use it. How exciting is that? Also, wow. Wow, looking this CPU isn't that bad, but it's so much slower than my Mac. It's crazy. Wow. It's actually so much slower than the Mac. There's something else I also wanted to do. Let's go here. Open up my notes. Because what else did I want to do? I try to like write down some of the things I want to do here. There we go. Oh, that's today's date, right? Yep. So add control Q quit. Already forgot what the other. Oh. Just could put web under its own thing. We want to add analytics there. And those are like my main sites. Maybe add analytics to XGG also. Now for this guy, yeah, we want to do that. The main thing I want to figure out is add task tracking. Like, what does that mean? We can brainstorm it, but some ideas. Daily finished, like finished tasks for the day. I'm gonna have to figure out what that means now, right? A finished task. That might mean going from a string to having like a data model that represents a task with some very, very, very basic fields on it. And I'm just gonna put because quitting on I3WM is weird. Okay. So over here, first thing we're gonna do. Let's send this over to workspace 1. Oops. Okay, and then what are we working on here? I'll put in add OT add control quit. OT brainstorm task completion. OT rethink input UI. How to add new tasks. So we'll start by adding control Q to quit. Oh, I know why this is doing this. This is doing this because I put it in my launch options. Yeah, minutes is seconds. That's why. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair. Okay. Now we're gonna come here. I guess Q main window is where we're gonna want to add make hotkeys. Yeah, I had a thing here. New Q shortcut. Q key sequence. Damn, this computer's slow. Control Q. I think I can concatenate strings with Q string. But wait, that's probably not how we want to do this. Probably like this. Because we're using TR. Hold on. Let's look at my main file. Because I set this in the main somewhere. Set application name. Yeah, how come I can't get application name from Q application? Oh, there it is. I don't know why I couldn't find it the first time. That's gonna be that. Parent is this. I don't think we need to capture anything, actually. I think I can just make a function and say Q application quit. Is it a static function? Can I just do that? Oh my god, you reformatted the whole file. No. uh this is why I hate IntelliJ sometimes. It's like wants to do what it wants to do. It's like unstoppable. Cannot convert R value of type QString to parameter type int. Okay, so what we might have to do here is we might have to look at the documentation for TR. So let's do that right now. Hello, TR example. Oops. I don't know what I pressed. Actually, how did I even do that? Oh, I must have right-clicked by mistake. Hmm. Q translator. This is annoying. Oh, my battery's dying. It's fine. We can go unperturbed for an extended period of time. Also, what in the... Okay. Sure. I was gonna do... Let's see what comes up here. Maybe that's a lot of shit. Grep doc. Extra QT6. Pac-Man minus X. S. There we go. Now, I don't know how to use it now. Now what? Right? Right, we need to somehow add the documentation to it. What I should probably do is like look it up. Let's just go new tab. Install Qt6 documentation Arch. Right, I'm sure people will say to install this, or maybe just look up the package information here. The offline documentation for Qt6, which can be accessed through Qt Assistant or integrated. Ah, is automatically detected by Qt Creator, although some users reported it. Okay. User shared doc. That makes sense. Is it in user share doc? That's the path I was looking for. Oh, there it is. QCH. Okay. So now what we want to do is add Qt6 documentation to CLion. First ensure Qt6, right. Qt6 features, well, see, okay. So hold on, I said add control Q to quit. Well, we're kind of sidetracking here, but that's kind of what we need to do. So that's fine. So if this takes us more than the remainder of the time, we'll switch our task to figuring out how to get the documentation to work. Because I think having this documentation working is going to do a lot for us. Settings, control S. It might be under project setting. Like, I'm not sure. Update 13 plugins. No. Oh. Oh. Preferences. No, I have to remove this shortcut key. Those shortcut keys weren't working anyways. Now I can use my down arrow. Yep. Ba-ba-da-ba-bum. There's like a thing for the project settings, I think. Project settings. Sure, I don't know why you went straight to that. Oh, what? Project configuration? Hmm. No, that just takes me to regular settings. Maybe it's under this menu. Edit configurations. That's the build configuration. Yeah, run debug configuration. Is not what we want. New project, open projects. These are branches. Oh. Weird. Hmm. Okay. So we go back to Google because we can't figure this out on our own. Hmm. Qt and QML. Why languages and why is JavaScript under C line? I don't understand. It's burning my eyes. So there's probably a yeah, probably a thing in here. The feeling it's not going to relaunch it on its own. Oh. Oh, there we go. Nice. Oh my god, that's so much better. I even have Qt Creator. And if I have to use Qt Assistant, I will. I don't remember Qt Assistant being bad. It'd be nice to have it in the IDE. C-line add offline documentation. On hover or control Q. Mm-hmm. There is a setting for it. Okay, here's what we're gonna try. I'm gonna try exiting. I'm gonna try relaunching it. And my mentality here is that maybe it'll automatically detect it, being that it's in a fairly standard location. And then maybe it'll just come in. Now let's see. I did install it after I started the IDE. Yeah, it's not getting the symbols. Like it's got like C. There's got to be a way to provide parameters to it. And my Qt Assistant still didn't start up. Why does everybody think I'm a robot? Come on. Come on, dude. It involves setting the CMake prefix path. Oh, maybe I have to rebuild it. Obviously, that's not going to work. Nope. AI chat. Go. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're going to ask a machine for help. I'll update it later. PT project, C-line documentation. Wait, can I just use man? Ah, yeah, of course. External documentation entry. Yeah, no shit. That's literally the option I'm looking for. It's not an option, dude. Like, if I knew where that setting was to begin with, I would just do it. Oh, this isn't playing the sound. I just realized. Oh, I see. Yeah, also, why isn't that playing sound? Kind of defeats the purpose of the timer. The heck? Why is there no sound? Gosh. So many side quests. And I can look for it. It says it's installed. Well, I fixed the error, but there's still no sound. Why? Let's try this. Um, I have no sound output, period now? What happened to my sound? This guy's lucky you type the word something into YouTube and his video pops up. What the frig is even going on right now? Just play a stupid video, dude. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's no sound. I'm not using also, I'm using something else. I forgot what the other thing is called. Pipewire, that was the thing. Ah, this is what I have to run. That should be what I have to run. Where's my... Hmm. It says running. Oh, that's funny. It actually did switch. Might just be muted. repair. Hmm. GP 104. I don't know if this will work. Hmm. This device does not have any controls. Hmm. How do I change the volume? Thought it was up and down. It is up and down. Oh, maybe it doesn't work with pipe wire. Is that a thing? Full audio sync? Oh shit, it's a percent. Holy shit, might have just broken my speakers. 20%. So that works. Why isn't it coming in? Well, sound's not working, so we're not doing this here anymore. Just gonna get my laptop. Hmm. That was a good warm up. 40 minutes is what it is. Okay. So, probably the issue. Actually, is I have to plug it and unplug it anyways. I don't have to do anything. Okay, so forget it. Just do the easy way. And we're going to use the Mac. I like to, when I run into an issue, at least spend a little bit of time on it. Clearly, that was not worth my time, but I'll figure that out later. That is, as we know, the problem with kind of working with Linux is that at any given time, it can just kind of stop working randomly. Okay, so here we are. We're back here. Let's open up CLion. I guess. Oh, it's the Godot game engine source code. That's funny. Oh, I don't even know if I have the repository. I know I do because I was running it somehow. Yeah. Here. Code. Okay. So I get this running. Put that over there. And now what am I going to put in here? We're going to do... and control Q to quit. Track completed tasks. My daily note might be synced. No, of course not. Is what it is. Okay, so we're going to do this. And what we might want to do also is CLion add Qt docs. If they don't have them. So we'll start with this. And we're going to go to CLion. We're going to open our project. Build options. Okay. Easy peasy. Now we might not even need to do that thing I was just saying. So let's open up main window. Why isn't this working? Let's also go into font size 13, 16, 18. Looks good. Okay. Jump down here. New queue shortcut. PR control Q. Now, a couple things. Why doesn't this work? Also, what I wanted to do here, yeah, documentation is still not there. I don't even need QC sequence to wrap it. I can just use TR. Still don't know what the issue is here. Key. Errand. Slot 1. Oh. What? I don't know what the problem is here. Let's try building it and see. New queue shortcut. Oh, okay. I guess it needs an empty capture list. Hey, look, the sound's working. So annoying. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I still want to figure out how to get the documentation in. Yeah, because I don't have Qt Assistant from the looks of it. Let's also go like this. Qt. Through install Qt6 documentation. How's copy Q? However, the documentation is not always included via homebrew. Use the Qt installer and make sure documentation. That's so dumb. And everyone keeps saying to add the path. Languages and frameworks Qt. I don't think I have that. Alright, let me just double check. Yeah. Qt plugin is not installed. Oh, this one actually probably doesn't have it. The other one had it though. Yeah, bundled. And it's enabled. Ensure you're using a compatible version of Qt with C-Line. Qt plugin requires professional or ultimate edition of C-Line. Yeah, of course it's in here because it comes freaking bundled. It's funny because QML is in here, but there's no Qt. It's not properly, has not been properly configured. Open your terminal and verify that the tools are installed. Yeah. Add Qt to CMake. Workaround. If Qt is still missing. Qt6 directory. I don't know. This seems like a monumental waste of time. Oh, dot arg. Okay. I think that's right. That looks familiar. Argument missing. Control Q. Open tomato. Q string arg. Argument missing. Come on, why does everyone think I'm a fucking robot today? I'm not a robot, you guys. Occurs when the format string contains placeholders, but fewer arguments are provided in the .arg than the number of placeholders. You'd think. Oh, wait, I do know why. I passed this to TR. I passed it to TR, but I need to pass it to QString. No, that's not why. Now it does go to QString, but TR also returns a QString. I think this is the reason. What's the problem here? No conversion from QString to const char star. Oh, TR can't take a QString. It can only take a... You know, the problem is... I don't quite understand what this does. Qt. Okay, Q object TR documentation. I'm pretty sure it's on Q object. Source text disambiguation is what I thought. And int n, I don't know what the freak that is. Returns a translated version of source text, optionally based on a disambiguation string and a value of n for strings containing plurals. Otherwise returns right. See also translate and internationalization with Qt. You know what was really good for this that I don't actually have installed anymore? There was a documentation viewer. Find documentation viewer. Dash, that was the one. I do have Dash. We're gonna start using it again. And I do have Qt6 installed on it. Ta-da! TR. Translate. Okay, shit doesn't work. Internationalization with Qt. Languages and writing systems. Stop showing me the dumb, stupid... Wait, hold on. Logwood. Mark strings for translations. Most of the text that must be translated. Yeah. Use QSTR. In QML, you can use the following. In C++, use TR. In C++, use the TR function to mark text as translatable and display translated text. The translation context is the name of the Q object subclass string is used in. To define the translation context for new Q object based classes, use Q object macro in each new class definition. When TR is called, it looks up translatable string. Okay. This accounts for 99%. Yes, it does. I'm looking for the other 1%. If the quoted text is not in a member function of a QObject subclass, use either the TR function of an appropriate class or the Q core application translate function directly. Okay, and this might have more docs on what I want too. Note, if you disable const char star to QString automatic conversion by compiling your application with the macro blah blah blah, you will most likely catch any strings you are missing. Oh, that's actually a neat trick. We should take note of that. Qt translations. Tip. What's this page called? Writing source code for translations. Cool. Well, use parameters instead of concatenating strings. This is what I wanted. Use QString arg. I think I know why it's not working. Because this is not being translated because it's not displayed anywhere. It's the disambiguation text. That's not going to work, right? Right, because it's not in this string. It doesn't care about what's in that string. That's a disambiguation string. Fit the app. Good enough. Cool. I'm giving up on adding the C-line docs. And we can get rid of this. And now we're going to look at tracking completed tasks. So in order to track completed tasks, I think I'm going to have to change the UI a bit. And we can look at that. We'll install the newest Figma update. I'm going to take a quick break here. 11:30. Yeah, I will be right back. I'm going to grab a drink from downstairs. Ah, okay. I'm here. Okay. So I kind of left this timer going. Um, but yeah. Whatever. Okay, so what do we need to do here? Lazy git. Let's check in our other change here. Oh, look at that. Automatically imported Q application for me. So smart. Main app. Add control Q to quit. Boom. Done. Okay, track completed tasks. So what I want to look at here, so I have this button that says stop timer. I have this button that says switch task, and this button that says pause. I think I'm going to change this. I think I'm going to remove switch task. I think I'm going to remove switch task. And then stop is going to become finish. Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm finished. Right. So what should we do here? Let's take a look at our thingamajiggy. And I have this in here somewhere. Right here. So this is what I had in my brain at some point of what I wanted to do. But I don't know that I like this. So let's take a look at this. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. It does show me what time it ends. That's cool. So I don't want to complicate this, but I'm going to brainstorm some quick ideas that probably will complicate this. And then we're going to try to simplify them as much as possible. So switch task, I think I should just get rid of it. So I'm going to brainstorm down here with some UI choices. I'm using my trackpad, which kind of sucks. Let me go like this. I think this mouse is also paired to this computer via Bluetooth. Yes. Thing's covered in dust. Okay, that simplifies my life. Oh my god, this mouse is heavy. But yeah, sure. Oh, the middle click is so easy to click. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get rid of switch task. And I think that's it. Stop and pause. And then I think we just need to create a new screen. Right? So we click on stop. Why are we stopping? We click on pause. Why are we pausing? So I'm going to make a new screen. And then we're going to say timer stopped. Now stop and pause is a little confusing. Stop and pause is a little confusing. Like, what's the difference between stop and pause? Well, pause is obvious. But maybe stop should be next or something like that. Right? Like maybe these buttons should be switched. Right? And then this will be go next. Right? Right? Because pause and stop seem like they kind of serve the same purpose more or less with that verbiage. But if I say go next, it sounds like you're going to the next. Like if I just say next, it sounds like you're going to the next screen, like there's going to be more. This is something I'm going to chat GPT to brainstorm some ideas for names. My timer currently has 2 buttons, pause and stop. The stop button stops the timer. Hmm. Okay. Stops the timer and lets you set a new one. Pause just pauses it. What's a better name for the stop option? Good question. Stop can sound a little harsh or ambiguous, since in most timer apps it means reset and clear. Oh, reset's probably a better name. If you already have pause, then stop is really more like cancel or reset. Yeah, that's what I thought about cancel, but it's not cancel. My stop button could also mean to end early and start the next task or break. Oh, that changes things. So your stop button isn't just throw away reset. It actually means end this session now and move on. Move on. That's pretty common in Pomodoro apps. You might want to finish a focus block early and jump to your next break, or end a break early and start the next focus. For that behavior, clearer labels could be skip or end, finish early or next, or done. Yeah, end is kind of good. I like end. I like end because it doesn't necessarily mean it's completed. Okay. Pomo ended. What's a good name for a Pomodoro timer session? The word session works fine. If you want something that feels a bit more intuitive, here are some alternatives people use in Pomodoro apps. Focus. Emphasize that the session is for deep work. Block. Oh, block is good, like a block of time. Interval. Round. Okay, yeah, like a game. Cycle, sprint, Pomodoro. Yeah, block. I like block. Block. Finished. Or block. Ended. Right? Time box. Time box. Box. We can call it box. End. End box. End block. End block. Block ended. Time block. Time box. End time box. End box. I'll call them boxes. Time box ended. I'll call them time boxes. And here. Oh, that's too big. That was a material design kit. I guess I don't have any styles set in my app. That's fine. Time box ended. So if they press end, right, this is the end. I want to draw an arrow. How do I draw an arrow? Shift L. Can we add a point? Oh, sick. We can totally add a point to our arrow. Strokes that feel hand-drawn. Use a new variable width stroke to adjust the stroke width at any point along its path. Okay, I don't really care. How do I? Okay, there we go. I guess this arrow's kind of useless. Delete it. Time box ended. Mm-hmm. So things we want to track. I think we have to do some data modeling here. I think things we want to track, maybe like what time we started a task. See, I don't want to complicate this too much. That's why I like intentionally made it a string at first. But the problem is I do want to track my daily completed tasks through this app. Like that's like the minimum that I want to do. So I need at minimum I need a time because I need to know that it's daily thing somehow, right? It's either based on time of day or it's based on a session, right? If I use time of day, I'm going to run into issues with time travel, with time zones. But maybe that's okay. I don't know. As long as I keep the time zone information, it should be fine. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but let's look at queue time real fast. Unix time. What's up, Judo Hippo? Yeah, true. No, true. I could just use Unix time. The data model that I have in this app is queue time, which I think is pretty fleshed out. I don't want to make any assumptions though, like Java time and date classes are not fantastic. The new ones are, but the original, the OG Java date date time class doesn't have like a time zone. Not much going on today, just chilling, working. All right, cool. Yeah, me too. I'm like splitting my time a bit between the game dev stuff and like this little productivity app, like pet project that I'm doing. It's a Pomodoro timer. But like there was a really good Pomodoro timer that I used in the past and I paid for it. It was great, but then they kept adding options onto it, and every version update is like another paid upgrade, $50. Like the money is like whatever, because $50 is like I make $50 faster than the amount of time I'm like jumping into this stupid app already. But like the problem is that they like gunked up the UI and stuff like that, and I just want something simple. And now I want it a little bit to diverge a little bit from what the timer itself does and what the other app does. I want it to help me kind of a little bit like overlap project management features and just help me track tasks that I'm working on and tasks that I need to so like what I'm working on and like how long it's taking me to do each thing, and then like whether or not I finish a task or not. Yeah, I've always wanted a tool for that. Yeah, so like I'm trying to build something very specific to myself around my personal workflow, and I really just want, something very, very simple. I might also at some point add a Kanban board to this app, depending on how much work that is, because I do like Kanban boards. I use them in my notes here. I haven't really been using too much recently. I really like the Kanban thing, like moving stuff feels great. But maybe I can have that like this could maybe visualize a Kanban for my tasks. And yeah, just something to help me prioritize. The thing is, problem is like once your tasks really start piling up, then you get to that like you hit that next step where now you need like a Jira or something big and bloated and stupid. But I'm trying to like strike a balance of I just want something to help me track like the micro tasks. So because this is a timer, I think the focus is on like the micro tasks. So let's just see here how queue time works. Current time. Let's just see if it says anything more. Queue time object contains a clock time, which can express as the number of hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds since midnight. It provides functions for comparing times and manipulating a time by adding a number of milliseconds. Queue time objects should be passed by value rather than reference to const. Okay, they simply package int. I hear you. Makes sense to me. Yeah. So like I'm like I want to add more features to it, but I don't want it to be too complicated. But I want it to track tasks. So I added this like little intake form here. So when I press Control or Command I on the Mac, I can add a list of tasks. I can like cycle through the tasks and like pick which one I'm working on and like close it out. So I can just be like, okay, these are things I need to do today. Just like a thought dump into it. And then um, like thought dump into it and then work on those tasks. Now I want to add something that's like tracking what I did. So that way I can make like automatically make a daily log of my stuff. So like at the end of the week, I can look back and be like, hey, this is all the stuff I did this week. And then maybe track how much time it took me to do it. But I don't know how I'm going to track the time yet, right? The only reason why I would want to track the time that I spent on it is because like if I'm using the timer anyway and I can automatically track the time it takes for me to work on things, I can kind of create a, I don't know, graph or something to just show like, oh, hey, you're spending this much time on like working on bugs and stuff like that, like to give me an idea of how to iterate better on the next week, essentially. I guess it's kind of like agile nonsense, a bit, but yeah, that's kind of something that I find useful. And then like, you know, I don't know, like right now I'm not doing corporate stuff, but goal is to have something like this that I can also use when I go back to corporate eventually if I do. And then I can use that to also help me log my time for corporate stuff. You know, that's why I feel like this is a very valuable thing. So time box ended. Oh yeah, so we were reading on how queue time works. It uses a 24-hour clock. It has no concept of AM and PM. Unlike queue date time, queue time knows nothing about time zones or daylight savings time. Okay, so this is important. This is what I was saying. Now the question is, do I go down that rabbit hole? A queue time is typically created either by giving a number of hours, blah, 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 static function. Because I think right now I'm using queue time for everything in my app. I don't think I use queue date. Oh, I do use queue date time. Oh, end time label uses queue date time. That's sketchy. I mixed them. Uh-oh. That's queue timer. Uh-oh. It's potentially bug city here. Okay, queue time objects can also be created from text representation from string. Okay. So, gonna go to my new friend here, ChatGPT. I like using ChatGPT to have a conversation, to come up with ideas, where I ultimately make the decision, but to get another kind of opinion to bounce ideas off of, because I don't have anybody that I'm working with right now. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if I want to track. I want to track a list of tasks I finished in a single day. Do I need to know the full date, including time zones, or is just queue time since midnight good enough? Now I'm also brainstorming in my head here something else that could be good. I could maybe create the concept of a session. But then the problem is I need to remember to create a session. right? But then my timer would also have a session. So I could be like, hey, start session. And then every time I start a session, it will track the tasks that I did in that session. And then it doesn't need to know time at all. It's just session based. And then if I did that, I could maybe eventually build a concept of automatic session creation. That might be the way to do it. That does complicate it a bit because now we add sessions. But that might be the way to do it. Okay, let's see what GPT says. Good thinking. It depends on what you want to do with the data later. When queue time is good enough, you only care about the order of the tasks within the same day. Your app resets every midnight according to the system clock. You don't care about exporting or sharing data across different devices or time zones. In this case, you'd also need to separately store the calendar date, like a queue date, and then pair it with the queue time, for example. Today equals queue date, finished at blah, blah, blah. This way, you could say a task finished on this date at this time. If you only stored queue time, you wouldn't know which day a task happened on. That is true. That is true. Like if I'm looking, I want to store, like I want to have at least a week and be able to look at, hey, this is what we did this week. So if I'm looking back at a week, I need to say like, hey, this was done, like which day these tasks were done on, right? That's fair. When you want something more robust, use queue date time, ideally in UTC, lets you compare timestamps across time zone. That's right. All we would really have to do to solve my issue is just store everything in UTC. Always use the same time zone. You can still extract just the local queue date when you want to group by date. If it's only local daily history, queue date and queue time. But if you might want to add syncing, statistics, or cross-device, use queue date time. Do you see your timer eventually needing to syncing history across devices, or will it be strictly local only? I often travel between time zones, so time zones are probably important. Then you definitely want to store absolute times instead of just queue time. I hate time zones. Every single company I have ever worked at in corporate, I always end up being the time guy. So as much as I hate it, I always end up working on it. And I'm like, I will conquer this, and I always end up taking care of it. One company I worked at, I ended up, that was a bug that we had. And it was kind of, especially for my team, it was kind of an issue. So it was like it was a ride sharing app. And basically what would happen is if you tried to book a ride, like you schedule a ride, when you, let's say after you take a flight, you schedule a ride for pickup when you land, there was some weird issues with date and time, it worked most of the time, but then it had issues with daylight savings and all this other stuff. And it was really more of a problem because the date and time would be different based on not where you were when you booked the ride, but where you were when you got picked up. Right? So you had to use the local time of the place you were scheduling for. And that's why it was weird. Because the server used UTC for everything anyways. But that's what made it especially tricky and confusing. It's just a confusing thing, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that like you really have to think out and have like a bunch of people double check you. Okay, use QD date. Computing. Okay, use QD date time in UTC internally. Always record the exact moment a task finishes as UTC. This avoids problems with crossing time zones. Oh, there's a current date time UTC. Sick. Convert local time when you're displaying. That's obvious. Why not just store local time? Yeah, we got it. If you travel from New York to Tokyo and you finish a time task at 11 p.m. local time, your system date may look like the next day in UTC. Derive local day summaries from local time. Okay. Would you like me to sketch a small helper class like task record that stores task name and UTC timestamp and provides a method to get local? Yes, let's see what this thing does so that I don't have to write code for it. Pragma once. Task record, task name, finished at. The problem is I also need to know when the task was started, don't I? Maybe not. Well, if I want to know how long it took me, then yes. Task name, finished at UTC, finished at local date. Oh, formatted string. That's cool. Do I need to know what time the task was started at? I was thinking of using OpenTel to make a task note taking app, but I'm lazy. What's OpenTel? Open telemetry? I was a vendor agnostic implementation how to receive process telemetry? This thing? Isn't telemetry more like analytics things and like collecting? I'm not getting the connection exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking more like metrics and logging. I'm thinking more like where I've used telemetry, like automotive tracking, tracking the health of the vehicle in automotive, for example. You use it for a bunch of stuff. It's pretty much just a structured log file. Oh, okay. I've used it for like analytics, like observing how people use your app, you know, checking for bugs and things like that, like crashes, you know, people clicked on this button and then the app crashed or something like that, like correlating those things or tracking, like I said, like the health of the vehicle, like the oil life, the tire pressure, stuff like that. Like on newer cars, there is that sort of telemetry aspect where it does communicate back to the company, which then goes to the dealership, and then the dealership would be able to be like, hey, you need an oil change. Although most of that's probably internally tracked, right? But it could be sent to the manufacturers also. Yeah, we do that too. I've seen a bunch of CI pipelines using it to display duration of steps. Yeah, well, but that's also another thing, right? CI pipelines would track like how long it takes to build, and these are also numbers that I've seen collected, and then we'll use that to determine like, hey, our build times are too slow. Why are our build times so slow? And then usually the way that works is someone goes to a business guy and they're like, hey, our engineers are spending like 30 minutes on average compiling the app. we could fix the build times, but it'll cost us, X amount of dollars in engineering time to fix the build. Or you can buy us all new computers, and then the newer version of the CPU is predicted to give us this much value, and then they'll just buy everyone a new computer usually. Yeah, I want to treat myself like a build machine. Okay. That's fair. I get the connection now. I get the connection. If you only care about what you finished today, just storing the end time is enough. You can reconstruct sessions per day by looking at the finish times and grouping by local date. This is the simplest and usually fine for personal productivity. If you want richer stats to see how long each task session took, if you allow custom lengths to analyze when do I actually start tasks versus when do I finish them, to visualize work sessions on a timeline like a Gantt or heat map. I was actually kind of thinking about eventually doing a Gantt chart type of thing. Since durations are usually fixed, you could infer the start time by taking end time minus duration. But if you ever allow variable session lengths, pausing, or early stopping, storing both start and end time makes life simpler and avoids errors. Yeah, because this is what I was thinking about doing too, is just, should I track the time or just the number of iterations that I do? But I do allow custom times on my timer. Start next. So let's go here. Track completed tasks. I'm going to make a new thing, not just track completed tasks. We're going to do brainstorm. And I'm going to do another brainstorm. All right. I'll set that as the active one and we'll start. Also, let me just see real quick. If I hit stop, oh no. Okay, yeah, when the timer expires, it goes to a different UI. Which I probably have in here somewhere. Why are we pausing? Yeah, I did want to do this. You see, I actually planned this out originally. I did want to do this. Quick task input. This was something I wanted to do. So this I have in here. So this is another thing I want to do. Quick task input. Why are we pausing? Now I have an interesting... Yeah, I have an interesting thing here. Because I eventually also want to be able to use this to track my distractions and see like what I'm spending the most time getting distracted on. I'm also kind of treating myself like a build machine. Oh, I designed this twice. I didn't even realize I had this here. Right, different data structure different. Oh yeah, because yeah, exactly. Have similar UI, right? It's usually better to just have different UI. I also want to be able to generate flame crafts. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, we have like similar goals, I think. Oh, and I had split task. That's actually a really good idea, split task. Because like split task means like, hey, this task took you longer than 25 minutes. I already designed this UI. Time's up. Yeah. I already designed this UI. It's right here. Right here. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to end instead of stop. And these are just different button configurations I was doing. Time's up. Split task, keep going, take a break. Yeah, and this could maybe extend it by a certain amount. Take a break, we'll do a break, and split task. Split task is a great idea, but I also don't know if it makes sense here. I actually don't even know if this offers anything. Split task. it's a good cue. It's a good personal cue to, hey, break down the task into smaller tasks instead of just continuing. But as far as the timer is concerned, it actually has no timer functionality. Like take a break will take us to a break timer. Keep going will take us to like an extended timer. So these will both bring us back to timer UI with specific time intervals. This will bring us to a break one where it'll give us like a 5-minute break. And this will give us like an extend time by like, it'll recommend maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Probably 10 minutes is good if our interval is 25 by default. And then split task, I think it's a really good cue and a really good action. But what would split task do? I guess split task would open up the intake form. I don't know what this would do. Like, presumably, if you're splitting the task, you'd want to take a break or keep going, right? So what would this do? This is just adding a new task. Yeah, so this doesn't make sense. I think what does make sense is finish. So actually, I am going to take this UI. I'm just going to copy this UI, though. I'm going to work down here for a bit. So instead of split task, oh, I see. I see. There's two different concepts here. These are timer functions, and then split task and finish task are like task related things. I see. So really, I think what I want to do as far as the timer is concerned. Oh, this is why this is tricky. Like take a break would be like, okay, we're going to take a break. Keep going would be we're going to extend what we're working on. But I guess I can delete this. Keep going or take a break. Or what? Or what? Or what? Um. Oof. Or what? Ah, that's tricky. Okay, so keep going. Keep going. Take a break. See, what I'm thinking is if we have something after this, if we have something after this, then we have to like keep track of some state. And then there's two different things I'm thinking here. One is these are timer functionalities. Keep going and take a break, right? Strictly timer functionalities. Both of these will take us to a new timer. The problem is if I want to say, I want to prompt them like, hey, are we finished or do we need to split the task? If we are finished, we just need another screen. I think that's it. So this will be before this. So what we really want here is task related things. Split task, finish task. We can work on verbiage here to make it a little bit more sense. Or Yeah, I don't wanna complicate it too much by adding steps. The other thing that you could like, are you finished? Yes or no. And if you click no, you have to say like, okay, split task or extend task. And I guess finish task. Hmm. Again, it's two different ideas that are kind of getting conflated. So another thing I could do, finish task. Hmm. Like I don't want to put in too many screens. Finish task would close out the screen, and then you'd have like another screen after that. Would be like, okay, take a break or start next. Oh, so maybe what I would do actually is instead of having a whole new screen, finish task. It would just change out these buttons at the bottom. I'm done. I need more time. Right? I'm done goes back to the good. Right. I'm done. Start break timer. Doesn't necessarily have to start a break timer. It will finish the task. Finish task. I'm done. Yeah, finish task. Maybe either way it asks what you want to do. Right, and the next thing would be take a break. Take a break. Work longer. Take a break. Continue working. Continue working. Take a break. Or split task. But split task. That's the same screen I just had. Wow, this is a really hard decision, product wise. Continue working, split task, take a break. Like you might just want to take a break anyway, even though they're different things. Well, I guess if you don't continue working, right? Because you're either going to continue working or you're going to take a break. So if you continue working, then you're not going to split the task, right? Let me just try real quick and see what it looks like. We can just copy. We can just duplicate this. What? I accidentally let go of my key there. Right, so another idea is to remove this and just give these two options, continue working, split task. Right, and then when you pick either one of these, then it will be oh no, continue working. Oh, I see. The other idea that I had could be when you click I need more time, a menu pops up. And you just pick from the menu. Right, this way it kind of funnels your choices. The other way, when you click I need more time, we could have a menu that pops up. Continue working. Actually, maybe I can just do this with less frames. Continue working, split task. And this will just be a menu. Well, not 0. We want like 8's good. I don't think these have to be center aligned. Alright, and so this could just be a menu when you click on it. So what would that look like? Kinda look like this. Oh, I see. This needs to float over it. Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna go crazy. And if I go with this menu idea, this could also be a menu. Right? Both sides could be a menu. I actually kind of like this idea. Oops. Basically, both sides could be a menu. And then what would the menu options be over here? This would be take a break. Yeah, this is too much clicking now. That's too much clicking. I'm done. Should just go to the timer. Right, and then what does that even look like? Let's go here to the other one. Let's go to sea lion. What I'm going to do here is go to my run options. Seconds, minutes as seconds. Yeah, cool. Oops. Start next and chill. That's what I have now, is start next and chill. Yeah. Which I could. I could also, because I don't like necessarily having all that extra clicking. Maybe I'm done by default will start the break timer. But if you right click it, then it will have a menu. Right? Let's see if that's a thing. Q push button. I think it's a signal, or maybe it's a slot. Show menu, that's cool. What's show menu? Pops up the associated pop-up menu. If there's no such menu function, does nothing. Q re-implemented protective functions. What is the... Why are the signals, man? Clicked. Q abstract button. That's right, I forgot. It comes from abstract button. And then checked equals false. Is there a way... Q abstract button clicked. Is there a way to get a right click? Or a modifier key? That's what we want to know. See also pressed. Okay, pressed might be a better one. Pressed, released, toggled, pressed. Mid one is pressed down. Release, when is released down. The Q abstract button probably is the one. Set check, set icon size, clicked, press, release, toggled. Q push button, right click. Q right click button. Mouse press event. Okay, wait, hold on. That's fine. If there's a mouse press event. Oh, maybe mouse press event comes from Q widget. That could be why. Mouse move event, mouse press event. There it is. So we can use mouse press event with Q mouse event. Q mouse events. List all members. Wait, hold on. Let's look at this AI answer over here. Event button. Perfect. So we could probably use this. We can probably use this. Now connect it like this. Wow, this is old school style. Your right click button. Okay, so that's possible. So I like that. This will have to, like this has to have an action. This has to have options. This doesn't have to have options. So right click will show a menu that says start next. Or if that's the only option, maybe right click just starts the next one. Right? But that's how I came up with this idea over here. Keep going or take a break. All right, but instead of keep going, it would be start next. I'm done. But I want to, but this action means that they're done. I'm done. Finish task. Finish task. Start break timer. And then I'm done. Right click. Finish task. Start work timer. Right? Like those are the only two options. Or, ooh, I got a third option. Instead of right click, holding down the Alt key. Holding down the Alt key will change the text of this button. Right? It'll change the text of this button to say, I'm done, start next. Right? I'm done, take a break. Why is this looking poopy? Well, because this layout is probably set to be top center and not middle. Where is the oh, it's a friggin' symbol. I gotta go to the master instance, main component. And over here, layout. Oh, it's a freeform layout. Oh, there we go. That should fix it. Yeah, there we go. Now it's gigantic though. These buttons, I want these buttons to be the same size. So all I gotta do here, instead of hug, is fill. That's not the right button. I'm done, take a break. Or I'm done. Okay, well my timer just went. I'm gonna take my break, because that's what I'm supposed to do. We're gonna chill, 5 minutes. I'm gonna use the bathroom, get some water. I'll be back. It's 1 p.m. already? What happened to the last hour, dude? I gotta eat soon. This took a lot longer than I expected. Wow. Okay, this took a lot longer than I expected. Anyways, I'll be right back, and we're gonna jam on this. I should just go now, is what I should do, so that I can eat. Yeah, I need to eat. So I'm gonna go eat, and then maybe I'll be back later. What was the other thing I wanted to work on today? There's more Godot stuff I wanted to work on, so I might come back and stream again later, is what I might do. So I might go offline now, eat, come back later, and then at that point, I might also need to do something. I might need to, like, exercise or something. Take a walk. I'll be back later probably. But ciao for now. I think it's good though. I think that's good to spend time on this, like planning stuff, because if you don't plan things out right, then you'll really waste a lot of time later trying to implement things when you inevitably get confused. You're like, what do I do with this now? I don't really know. So this needs to be more thought out, I think. But that's good. This is good. This is good planning that I'm doing right here. Bum, bum,